Richard, I saw that Hogs Sports reported yesterday that Arkansas Director of Recruiting Joshua Thompson is leaving for Auburn. He's taking a Director of Football Operations. That's more of where he's headed there. How is this going to impact Razorback recruiting, not just this recruiting cycle, but moving forward?
I wouldn't say a lot because you have several people that are, a little bit below him that have, a good bit of experience and know what's going on. And that's not a slight to Joshua, but they kind of got everything rolling right now. And obviously the early signing period, you wrapped up that the 21 class then, basically. So going forward, I don't anticipate any major hiccups.
It's kind of been quiet on that front when it comes to who, because they have, Richard, how many, I know they have, was it one eligible scholarships and two they can push over? I know you know the terms better, but how many remaining spots do they have to fill up?
Well, I think they signed 22, and then whenever we talk about spots, and I know I keep saying this, but I really don't focus on the so-called numbers because the numbers can always be worked around, and you can, if somebody you really want, you go ahead and probably go ahead and do that and worry about the numbers later. So I just tend to think if somebody's in the portal or there's somebody late, so somebody that didn't sign in December that they really want, I don't think the number situation is going to stop them.
It's like Enron, Tommy. You can orchestrate the numbers however you want.
Yeah, well, you can always make them move around, do it, whatever they're going to say.
Yeah.
Hey, Richard, I think since the last time we visited, we hadn't talked about these staff changes. I think there were some rumors out there about what was going to happen, and we see Michael Scherer has moved up to the linebacker role, new coach at the tight end spot. We've talked a couple of weeks ago about Kenny Guyton joining the team as the wide receivers coach, but a couple of new changes in the staff. Just some of your thoughts as Arkansas is on a bit of a youth movement, if you will, with some position coaching changes.
Yeah, that's probably the thing that really stands out about the new members of the staff. They're all very young, 27, 29, and I think 29. So that stands out. And you could look at that and think several things, but I think it's somewhat of just a coincidence that they're that young. But at the same time, there's no doubt. I mean, Coach Pitt and the OC and DC, Coach Odom, Coach Browse, they're not going to hire a guy that just if they don't think that he can coach. Obviously, being younger, probably can. You would think that the possibility of being able to recruit's definitely there because they're not too far removed from the recruiting process. They're younger in the aspect that they can relate to the kids. So. It will be interesting going forward, but definitely, I'm like you. The first thing that stands out is their youth.
Yeah, the thing about the way everything's set up now with analyst roles and assistant roles and, of course, GA roles, these young guys get in and prove themselves, make some kind of a name for themselves within the industry, and you're kind of forced as a staff or as a head coach, hey, I need to do something with and for this young up-and-coming coaching talent, or you stand to lose them because there's so many jobs out there now. May not be on the field, but word gets around who the up-and-comers are. And it sounded like Arkansas had a couple, particularly with Michael Scherer, that, hey, we needed to find an opportunity for him to keep him on our list and not someone else's list.
Well, and with Michael, I mean, obviously he played for Coach Odom, and he's kind of like his right-hand man on the defensive side of the ball because he knows the system, knows what he wants, what Coach Odom wants. He's done it as a player, he's doing it as a coach, and he was doing it kind of like as an analyst, and now obviously he's a coach. So that wasn't a big surprise.
We're talking with Richard Davenport, Little Recruiting, this morning. If you want to get in here and ask him a question, 877-377-6963. Richard, I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. This is a question from the 479 asking about Hudson Clark getting a scholarship. He got a scholarship starting in January. Is that correct?
Now, that's what Coach Pittman was saying that he would happen back during the season. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. This is a question that Tommy and I touched on a little bit earlier. We're not as in-depth. We're not as knowledgeable on the subject, so I'll pass it along to you. The dead period's through April the 15th, but they're thinking about doing this quiet period from the 16th to 30th. Can you give our listeners more detail on what a quiet period could entail if it ends up happening?
Yeah, the quiet period allows kids and their parents to go to college campuses and visit and have face-to-face contact. The quiet period, though, does not allow the coaches to go off campus and visit schools and see kids. So if this is indeed what's going to happen, this would be the second consecutive year that they will not have a spring evaluation period. And that's unfortunate, but hey, at least if they do enact a quiet period, kids will start being able to go on campus and visiting, and that's huge in itself. It is. I'm sure the coaches are disappointed that they won't be able to get off campus and evaluate kids, and that's something that's definitely going to hurt a lot of the kids, because a lot of kids do get offers through the spring evaluation period, but we obviously know why that's not going to happen, evidently.
You've brought this up before, but I think this is a good spot to revisit it. Not only is there going to be kids they miss on, but just not having this evaluation period, not talking with teachers in the classroom, coaches in the coaching office on a high school campus. There's going to be recruits they miss on that they just weren't able to get a full look and a full evaluation, and going to bring a kid in that is not a fit for a variety of reasons as a result of this lack of evaluation.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about that, and that face-to-face contact you can pick up. When just in the business world or any kind of relationship, you can face-to-face contact is really, really huge. And if you decide to want to do business with somebody, most of the time you're meeting with that person, and you can pick up some tendencies in a face-to-face contact where you can't over the phone. And then also talking about misevaluation, there's so many of the kids that are obviously not going to get offers, that are going to go play at lower level of college football. And some of these smaller schools, lower classifications, man, they're going to be happy about it, because they're going to be getting several D1 type caliber athletes versus in the past, most of the kids that could play D1 got signed by D1 schools. So the Henderson States, the OBUs, and stuff like that, they're going to be able to get some of the guys that are truly D1 caliber than they, more so than what they were in the past.
Richard, you spoke to evaluating. Feleipe Franks down in Mobile, Alabama right now is getting evaluated, and we'll close down with this. He's been a little inconsistent, is the reports that I've been seeing. What do you expect out of the former Arkansas quarterback come Saturday in the game?
It all depends on, especially at the quarterback position. A lot of it's just timing with those receivers, and when you haven't worked with those receivers, but for maybe a week, it's kind of hard to be consistent, and I think that may be part of the problem. That's probably the most. I would think that would probably be the most difficult position in the Senior Bowl to perform well, just because of that. But I tend to think he'll still do well. Just hey, he's working with some receivers he's really never worked with, so I'm sure there's going to be some struggles, and they may go one way and he throws another. So it may not work out the way he wants. I don't know.
Richard, we always enjoy our time with you on Thursdays at 8 o'clock, and we'll catch up next week, bud.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
Good stuff from Richard, as always, Tommy.
Always glad to have Richard Davenport on with us, one of our treasures every week, one of our Arkansas native treasures here.